Kansas Corn is a farmer-led organization comprised of the Kansas Corn Growers Association and the Kansas Corn Commission. We grow corn and so much more. We grow the future. In 2019, through our Kansas Corn STEM education program, we reached 51,000 Kansas students in grades K through 12. Through our collegiate programs, we awarded $18,000 worth of scholarships to Kansas students at our annual symposium in January 2020. We grow demand. Building domestic and export markets for our corn and corn products is a top priority. That's why 59% of our budget goes towards strengthening export, ethanol, and livestock markets. We grow innovation by funding research for profitability, sustainability, and new uses for corn. We grow Kansas FFA. Our love for the blue and gold holds true. We are proud supporters of our agricultural education teachers, local FFA chapters, and the Kansas FFA Association. Follow us on social media for news and updates. We hope you enjoy the 92nd Kansas State FFA Convention, and thank you to everyone who helps grow Kansas corn.
In today's market, successful farming takes more than a good harvest. It takes farmers working together with groups like the Kansas Soybean Commission to help grow the future of soy in our state and beyond. Headed by 9 farmer leaders elected by fellow Kansas soybean farmers, the Kansas Soybean Commission helps to move the soy industry forward by focusing on 3 areas of development: expanding domestic and international markets, advancing production and research into new uses, and providing outreach to farmers and consumers.
We're always looking for ways to improve the bottom line for the Kansas soybean producer. We've got production research, biodiesel, consumer outreach. These are things that we try to get across to not only the producer but also the public in what we're doing and how we're trying to improve.
We started our Precision Ag program about 25 years ago. Today, when we start looking at different products and services that we're going to bring to our customers, it has to fill a need or solve a problem, it has to create an efficiency, or it has to have a positive return on investment. You know, when we're working with Precision Ag, it's still just farming. We're still planting, spraying, harvesting, we're spreading fertilizer, we're irrigating. We're just using technology to help make that better.
Right now, it feels like the world's standing still. But if you look to the land, it's a whole different story. From farms to backyards, wheels are turning. Seeds are being planted. Animals are getting fed. Grass is growing. And families are giving their all to the soil. Because no matter how uncertain things get, the land never stops. So to all those linked to the land, we say thank you. We're here for you because we all run together.
For the past century, Kansas Farm Bureau, through advocacy, education, and service, has been working with and on behalf of farmers to make sure they have support needed to be successful. We too believe in the future of agriculture, and one of our main sources of that faith and hope is we believe in you, the next generation of ag leaders.
And even though we aren't together in Manhattan this year, we know that the knowledge you've gained, the skills you've developed, and the success you've achieved, that will hold us true even through a global pandemic. Because your FFA experience is about more than the accolades you earn. It's about the person you become. It's about embracing the struggle and the challenges, because you know that growth and joy lie on the other side. It's about pressing forward into uncharted territory so that others can follow your lead. It's about doing what's in your control to earn what you can and to share what you have with others who need it.
So take a minute to enjoy this time of reflection and celebration of your work and accomplishment from the past year. There is so much good to remember and share. And then, as you go back to daily life, remember your creed. Because in times like these, when things are tough for many working to feed our world, American agriculture can and will hold true. But we all need to do our part in our homes and in communities and exert the influence we have in order to, once again, see a bright future for agriculture. We know you're doing your part, and we're working to do our part as well. Congratulations again, and enjoy your conference.
Hello, FFA members, and greetings from the CHS Foundation. I hope all of you are well and that you and your families are staying safe and healthy. On behalf of the CHS Foundation, I just wanted to send you this quick note and congratulate all of you on all of your FFA achievements over this last year. We know that state convention, your school classes, and FFA all look a little different this year, but we are so impressed by the ways that all of you are adapting and continuing to live out that FFA motto by learning to do, doing to learn, earning to live, and living to serve. The CHS Foundation is so proud to support each and every one of you on your journey through FFA and as you gain the skills to become that next generation of ag leaders. Congratulations on everything you've achieved this past year, and the very best of luck to all of you in your future endeavors. Thank you.
My F-150 is working, even when I'm not. When I head out for the weekend with friends, I know it can handle everything since it's got an available max payload of 3,270 pounds. And it could tow 13,200 pounds. I used to hate backing up my trailer. This F-150 has an available feature that makes it really easy. Now I do it like a pro.
Growing the market for Kansas-made ethanol is a win-win for Kansans.
And we, as FFA members, can help.
Last year, Kansas Corn launched the Fueled by Kansas campaign to drive consumers to step up from regular unleaded to E15 at the pump.
What's E15?
It's fuel with 15% ethanol compared to the usual 10% in regular unleaded. E15 is more affordable, has better performance, and runs cleaner than regular unleaded, meaning Kansas drivers can go further for less.
In March, 5 FFA chapters helped introduce E15, also called Unleaded 88, at Casey's locations across the state.
On behalf of Kansas Corn, a big thanks goes out to Dodge City, Hiawatha, Hugoton, Inman, and Ottawa FFA chapters for helping at these events.
And now, we can help by spreading the word. How?
First, visit fueledbykansas.com to find a station near you.
That way, the next time your chapter is heading to a CDE in the school suburban, or you're hauling livestock to the fair, you'll know where to fill up with Kansas-made E15.
Secondly, tell your friends and family about the benefits of ethanol to Kansas. From helping Kansas farm families by stabilizing grain prices and growing their markets, helping Kansas become more energy independent, and adding more than 4,000 jobs in Kansas, more of our money stays right here at home because of ethanol.
And be sure to like Fueled by Kansas on Facebook.
Wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet, there's an opportunity to fuel Kansas.
We're powerful influencers for agriculture in our communities, Kansas FFA. Let's join together and spread the word.
And get fueled by Kansas.
Here at Kubota Tractor Corporation, we want to remind you how critical the FFA is for our country and our world. The Global Kubota Corporation actually started with a 19-year-old kid, Konshiro Kubota, who developed iron water pipes to deliver clean water to his community, a life-saving innovation in 1890s Japan. That's the same spirit that founded the Kubota Tractor Corporation here in America. That's why Kubota Tractor Corporation is not only directly investing in the FFA, we're also invested in the community. Based in Texas, building machines in Georgia, designing engines in Illinois. And last year, we formed our Midwest Division, completing a state-of-the-art training facility and our largest North American supply chain campus here in Edgerton, Kansas, the heart of the Midwest. From a complete line of tractors to construction equipment, hay tools, and more, we're pushing the highest quality engineering to elevate this industry, and we can't wait to see how you elevate it even more. So on behalf of our entire nation, we thank you. We encourage you. Together, we do more.
The association will come to order. We are now holding this virtual session of the 92nd Kansas FFA Convention. Madam Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they are at their stations, and report back to you, Mr. President. The Sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duties there?
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the states of Alaska to the Virgin Islands, and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries, wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here, by the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. And being older than the rest of you, I am asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do you keep the plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
There are Kansas FFA members, advisors, and guests viewing, Mr. President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and to develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess. May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this session of the 92nd Kansas FFA Convention duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented.
When growing up on a family farm, it gives you many jobs. One day meant driving tractors over the to another field. The other meant being a flashlight holder and tool grabber for Dad. Growing up on a family farm means you have some truly unique experiences, especially when you work with your family. With the changing of the season, your job load changes, and each day presents new challenges that are presented. In this virtual session of the 92nd Kansas FFA Convention, shows us that too, in FFA, every day has new experiences to celebrate. Your 2019-2020 Kansas FFA Sentinel, Mason Prester, will offer some of his own experiences in the field of life in his retiring address. Chapters holding true to their commitments will be recognized in the Strengthening Agriculture area of the National Chapter Award. Then an FFA advisor holding true to their passion will be recognized. We will celebrate members' outstanding supervised agricultural experiences in the second part of our proficiency pageant. Then your 2019-2020 Kansas FFA Vice President, Abby Goins, will hold true to herself in her retiring address. Finally, we'll hear the inspiring words of this session's keynote speaker, Dr. Rigsby. So let's get ready for the changing of the seasons, rusty tractors, and lost tools in this session of the Kansas FFA Convention. Kansas FFA members and guests, join me in welcoming Ethan DeLaval and Charlie Halad for a very special introduction.
I'm Ethan DeLaval.
And I'm Charlie Halad.
There are a lot of words that we can use to describe Mason.
Some of those words are hardworking, supportive, caring, leader. My favorite is swag. And most importantly is determination. He was determined to support us even when we didn't even trust in ourselves.
He was determined to put a microwaved pickle in my shoe at National Convention.
He was also determined to become a state officer after not being selected district officer his first time.
It is our honor to present our friend and your 2019-2020 FFA State Sentinel, Mason Prester.
Growing up in a small town of 700 people, there wasn't much to do. Options included participating in a sport, working, or having a hobby of sorts. At school, the most popular extracurricular activity was basketball. Almost every student went out and participated in it all 4 years of high school, as it was with most things in Wilson. My freshman year, I decided to follow suit and join the basketball team, as I felt I should. It was something my friends were all doing, it was something to keep me active, and I thought I could be pretty good at it. Once the season started, though, my perspective changed. I quickly realized I didn't understand the plays or defenses. I couldn't dribble a ball left-handed, let alone right-handed, and overall felt like an outsider. Although I didn't quit that basketball season, I quickly realized I wasn't going to fit in. I thought to myself, if I wasn't able to fit in with something that was normal to do, how was I going to fit in at all? To distract from my unhappiness that I had from basketball, I took up the hobby of messing with computers at home. I would spend all my time researching the best parts and all the information about building computers through YouTube videos, online forums, and chatting with people who had experience. I started mowing lawns and selling old games and toys to raise enough money to build myself a computer. The night came when all the parts arrived, and my friend who had some experience building computers came to spend the night. We started promptly at 8 p.m. with the building process. Parts scattered all around my parents' kitchen, us scrambling to find them when needed and often forgetting where we placed them. We had countless amounts of YouTube tutorials pulled up on our phones, following each one carefully and precisely as we didn't want a single flaw with the finished product. Once we got all the parts together, we plugged the computer in the wall and with smiles on our faces pressed the power button, only for the computer not to turn on. We quickly realized that we forgot to plug in the cords and wires, which made us start laughing hysterically as it was probably too late in the night to be doing this. Once we got all the cords and wires plugged in, we loaded the computer up and took it to my room, plugging it in once again. I pressed the power button and on the screen appeared the Windows logo, indicating all my hard work had led to success. I could not help but to smile and feel my happiness start to come back. That night, I gained a passion for a hobby that brought me happiness, something that I thought I was going to find in basketball. I wish I allowed that happiness to be enough, though, to give myself permission to spend time doing things I enjoy rather than spending it where other people thought I should. I was a confident kid throughout high school, but I had an issue, though. No matter what I did, I always felt like I was letting others down by not doing what they said I should. This affected me in a lot of ways throughout high school and in life to this day. If I would have just followed my passions, I wouldn't have felt the need to fit in with the basketball team. This wasn't an overnight fix. There were plenty of times throughout high school where I still did things other people expected of me. But by my junior year, I finally started to break free. We all have moments in life where people question the choices we make. We must look at those choices and determine if they are a true reflection of who we really are. Just like building computers was a passion that brought me happiness, we all have moments where we realize we should be doing things that we enjoy, and then we have to make the choice to pursue whatever that is. If we do not follow our happiness, we can end up as I did my freshman year, sad and upset by the choices we make. We may feel a sense of regret and wish we could do things over. As I look back on my time in high school, I have plenty of moments of regrets from the things I did and didn't do. We cannot let other people's judgment and influence throw us off our course. We should learn to be confident in our decisions. It took me a long time to understand that simple thing, that our happiness doesn't come from other people's perspective of us, but from our own perspective of us. When we're confident in our passions and happy with ourselves, then we lose those regrets. We can find happiness in our passions. Passions are an extension of who we are. They constantly force us to become better and push us forward, all while making us happy. We all have those passions that bring us joy. What's that one thing that you really just love doing? Maybe it gives you a strong sense of purpose. Or maybe you find yourself unable to walk away from it in the middle of the night when you know you should be getting some sleep. Or maybe it lifts you up when life has you down. If it check marks any of those boxes, it might be a passion. Once you identify your passion, you should embrace it and fully live it out each and every day. To remind ourselves of where true happiness comes from, let's take a walk around our house. Find that one item that brings you the most happiness. As you reflect on that item, think about the reasons it brings you happiness. Use this as a mental reminder of where true happiness comes from. Take time each day to find that happiness and apply it to all aspects of your life. To this day, I still struggle with making myself happy. I often question myself and my actions, thinking, is this something I'm truly passionate about, or am I only doing it because other people want me to? I'm currently living back at home with my mom and dad, and during the day when they're at home, I'm left home alone. I find that in those moments when no one else is around, I am forced to find my own sense of happiness. By having that passion of building computers, I am able to stay happy and positive. We all want to be happy at the end of the day. We strive for happiness and we want those around us to be happy. We cannot let other people dictate where our happiness lies. We know ourselves best, so let's follow those passions that bring us happiness. FFA members, do not let your happiness be derived of what other people want you to do. FFA gives us the chance to be happy and allow it to come from within. When we stand true as FFA members and are confident in our passions, there's nothing we cannot do. When we're happy with ourselves and share it with other people, then we can make a change. Throughout life, we'll hear that we should listen to others and happiness will follow, but that is not true. We only get one life to live. Why should we let other people dictate our happiness? True happiness comes from within.
Mason, whether it was cracking a joke or asking a fun question, you never failed to bring laughter and a smile to the face of any individual. Thank you for always being someone there to listen, even if it was with one ear, and encouraging us to be more than teammates, but lifelong friends. Your dedication to supporting anyone around you, taking time for any individual, and pursuing what you believe is second to none. Thank you for always being humorous, genuine, and vulnerable. Love always, JW, Lucas, Abby, Logan, and Elizabeth. Kansas FFA, year 2019-2020, State FFA Sentinel, Mason Prester.
Mr. Fox and all the administration at USD 112, thank you for your continued investment in me. Your investment in every student that walks through those doors of that high school is something that every student is proud to feel. You have not only pushed me, but every student that you've interacted with to do their best in every aspect of their life. Thank you for your continued support. Kansas FFA members, please help me in recognizing my administration, Mr. Fox, and all the administration at USD 112. Mrs. Locke, thank you for your continued support in me. You took a shy 8th grader and turned him into a man who hopes to be half the agriculture educator you are to this day. Your friendship and all the moments we've had together will be something that I will never, ever forget. Thank you for your support in not only me, but every student that you interact with. Kansas FFA members, please help me in recognizing my advisor, Mrs. Stephanie Locke. Mom and Dad, thank you for your love and support for the past 18 years. You have both taught me the value of hard work and caring for others. Mom, thank you for lending an ear and a shoulder to cry on when I needed it the most. Dad, thank you for always pushing me to do my best in everything that I do. Thank you both for all the love and support and opportunities that you have given me throughout my life. Kansas FFA members, please help me in recognizing my parents, Kevin and Angela Prester.
By holding on to agriculture, we help to strengthen it. The same can be said when working with your family on the local farm. The saying that you never know someone until you work cattle with them holds true, because you get to see every part of their personality and strengthen your bonds with them. Chapters across Kansas also work hard to strengthen agriculture in their local communities so that the industry is in capable hands for the future. The chapters who have gone above and beyond in this area have spent countless hours supporting farmers, businesses, and advocating for the agricultural industry. These chapters holding true to their commitments will now be recognized in the Strengthening Agriculture area of the National Chapter Award.
The chapters placing in the gold division of the Strengthening Agriculture area in alphabetical order are Arkansas City, Beloit, Buhler, Chapman, Clay Center, Ellsworth, Girard, Hayes, Holton, Hugoton, Marion, McLouth, Mission Valley, Oxford, Republic County, Riverton, Royal Valley, Sedan, southeast of Saline, Tonganoxie, Udall,
We are now honored to recognize Mr. Kurt Viner of the Hayes FFA chapter for his 31 years of service to agricultural education.
Hey, Mr. Viner. Thank you hardly seems adequate for 31 years of dedication to Hayes High and the community of Hayes, but that's exactly what we want to do. We want to tell you thank you for always being there for us, for pushing us to be our best, for showing us how to respect ourselves and those around us and our environment. Even those of us that didn't end up going into the ag field learned so much about ourselves and how to present ourselves from you and from your willingness to push us outside of our comfort zone, to call us out when we weren't quite living up to that sometimes. And we just hope you know how much of an impact you had on Hayes High, the students, and the community of Hayes and Ellis County. So thank you, and don't forget to have a happy day. All right, bye.
Hey Kurt, just wanted to say congratulations to you. It's hard to believe it's been 30 years since I first met you, coming into Hayes High, changing it from a ag shop program to an ag science program. All the awards, the national, the state awards that you've won, the people that you've turned out, what an asset you've been. Congratulations.
Hi, Mr. Viner. Sorry, I'm going to call you Mr. Viner for the rest of my life, I'm sure. It just doesn't feel right otherwise. I think it's safe to say that no other classes in high school had more influence on my life and my career path than the classes you taught at Hayes High when I was there. So thank you for being a great teacher. You were one of my favorites during high school. And thank you for continuing to support me after high school with my career choices to this day. So congrats on your retirement. I think you're way too young to be retiring from teaching, but I hope you enjoy retirement, and I continue looking forward to working with you in the future.
Hey, Mr. Viner, I just wanted to say congratulations on your retirement. If there is anybody who has earned it, it has definitely been you. You know, you have spent, 30 years pouring into me and all the kids who came before me and after me, so you definitely deserve time to be able to go do the things that you want to do and spend more time with your family. You know, what I learned in my ag classes and all the different leaderships retreats that we attended with FFA, those things have really been what has stuck with me. And, you know, the constantly forcing us to think outside the box and get outside of our comfort zones and learn these things is stuff that I still use every day. You know, I used it through college and grad school, and I'm still using those things every day. So thank you for spending all those years teaching all of us and pouring into us. Those are still, my ag classes and FFA events are still some of the best memories that I have. So enjoy your time with your family and doing all those things. And again, congratulations.
Hello, my name is John Lynn. I'm the assistant principal and CTE coordinator at Hayes High School. Hayes High School is extremely proud of all the work Mr. Viner has put into our ag program, FFA program, and his true dedication to our students over the entirety of his career. Kurt has been a leader in the true sense to everyone who has been associated with him and his program. He is about family, he's about faith, and he's a true inspiration to us all. Thank you, Mr. Viner, for being part of Hayes High School for all these years. You will be missed. And go Indians.
Mr. Viner, I just wanted to say thank you for all of the life lessons that you helped teach me and all of the fun that we had along the way while student teaching. I really appreciate all the hard work and hours that you've put in, not only for Kansas FFA, but for all the students you've had along the way. That impact will last forever, and for that I'm truly grateful that I got to experience and see what a dedicated FFA advisor looks like. I wish you all the best in retirement, but know that you'll always hold a special place at Hayes FFA in all of the students' hearts that you impacted.
Hey Kurt, just wanted to say congratulations. You truly deserve this. I want to say thank you for all the time you've put into helping me, whether it was a state degree or a national land judging competition. You were truly in it for the students, and I hope everybody realizes the amount of hard work and time you put in. Enjoy your retirement. Congratulations.
Mr. Viner, I just want to say congratulations on your retirement. Please know it's been an honor and a privilege to work with you all these years. I've been honored to be able to watch you do your mastery with kids and how you care for kids, and it showed every day, and all the things you did for them, the successes they had because of your hard work. Thank you for all you've done. I'm honored to call you a friend, and good luck in your future endeavors. That goes as well as being a great dad. Talk to you later, bud.
Thank you, Mr. Viner, for being a part of our life, and I hope all the blessings of your kindness comes back to you.
Thanks for the support that all you've done over the years for us. We support FFA, and most of all, we support you for being a good teacher.
I just want to say thank you. Thanks for letting me come out and be your student teacher for that whole spring semester several years back. Thanks for including me in your family and show me what it looks like to be a great ag teacher, a great husband, and a great father. So thanks again. Enjoy retirement. It's very well deserved. Take care. Bye.
Raising goats and showing them has always been an adventure. Every year, there would always be that one goat. When taking it on a walk, my dad would just tell me, just hold on to him. While holding on to the goat, I learned to never let go and to keep persevering. In our supervised agricultural experiences, we also learn to keep persevering and to hold on to our interest in the agricultural industry. These next individuals have done just that. They have held true to their passions by applying for proficiency awards. Please join me in recognizing the second portion of our proficiency award winners.
Will Glotzbach of the Wabunsee FFA chapter is this year's winner of the Diversified Agricultural Production Proficiency Award, sponsored by Triangle H. Will works on his family's operation raising cattle and row crops. His duties began with driving the feed truck out to cattle and moved into feeding silage, transporting round bales, and packing silage. Will now independently rakes and swaths hay as well as repairs fence. On the cattle side, Will is responsible for herd checks, castration of calves, branding, and treating sick animals. He has also personally purchased several pickups, a tractor, and grain cart to contribute to farm operations. Working alongside his family has taught Will the value of letting a good day's work speak more than words. Will looks forward to further expanding his role in the family farm through the development of his cow-calf and crop operations. He is the son of Dave and Willeen Glotzbach, and his advisor is Danny Davis. Way to go, Will!
The recipient of the Diversified Crop Production Entrepreneurship Award is Curtis Hansen of the Republic County FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Vulgamore Family Farms. In 2018, Curtis began cash renting 70 acres of crop ground. He converted 50 acres into cornfields, with the remaining 20 left as original alfalfa ground. After a hard drought his first year, Curtis planted 50 acres of wheat last year and had a stable crop. Through these challenges, Curtis has learned the value of diversifying his operation and is grateful for the advice of his father and grandfather. He is independently responsible for the planting decisions, harvesting, sale, and record keeping of his crops, and has a labor exchange agreement with his family farm for the use of equipment. Upon graduation, Curtis plans to pursue a degree in agriculture or engineering and eventually return to the family farm. Curtis's parents are Nick and Julie Hansen, and his advisors are David Graham and Jed Sternad. Congratulations, Curtis.
This year's Proficiency Award winner for Diversified Crop Production Placement is Kylie March from the Labette County FFA Chapter. This award is sponsored by Kansas Corn. Kylie works on her family farming operation, raising corn, wheat, and soybeans. Throughout the year, she helps with harvest, planting, pre-season maintenance, and tillage work. This past year, she has learned how to scout fields, check for insects and weeds, and assist her father with the spraying operation. Over time, her duties have grown to involve work such as preparing production reports for insurance, tracking varieties planted, and recording herbicides, insecticides, plant dates, and harvest dates. In addition, she is beginning to learn how to do income and expense reports. This experience has taught Kylie to have a good work ethic, positive attitude, and to have a passion for agriculture. She hopes to pursue a bachelor's degree in agronomy and return to the family farm. Kylie is the daughter of Kenneth and Angela March, and her advisors are Dustin Wiley, Kyle Zwallen, and Keith Guerin. Great job, Kylie!
The recipient for the Diversified Livestock Production Proficiency Award is Brody Nemechek from the Iola FFA Chapter. This award is sponsored by Red Brand Wire and Milton Vale Lumber. Brody's SAE consists of raising quality livestock for junior exhibitors. Brody offers his customers a variety of show species to choose from, including Berkshire and Hampshire pigs, Simmental cattle, and goats. His responsibilities have grown from general livestock care to making breeding decisions, nutrition and facilities management, marketing, and customer relations. The experience gained from his SAE provided him various leadership opportunities, and he has been able to help teach youth the importance of animal care and responsible medication. Brody aspires to work for a livestock pharmaceutical company while continuing to run his successful diversified livestock operation. His parents are Jeff and Carla Nemechek. His advisor is Amanda Strickler. Good work, Brody.
Megan Newland from the Hugoton FFA Chapter is this year's winner of the Equine Science Entrepreneurship Proficiency Award. This award is sponsored by Doug and Jana Zillinger. Megan has been active in showing and training horses over the years and has begun coaching others and offering free lessons. She began by competing in several Western and English performance events, but wanted to expand her skill set. Currently, she shows and trains her Versatility Ranch horse in ranch riding, trail, reining, cutting, and working cow horse classes. Megan spends up to 70 hours per week in the summer training her horses, and over time has learned the importance of budgeting, prioritizing, and mentoring. Megan is currently a student at Oklahoma State University, earning her degree in agricultural communications and animal science. Upon graduation, she plans to work in the equine marketing and communications industry. Her parents are Jeff and Vicki Newland, and her advisor is Les McNally. Congratulations, Megan.
The Equine Science Placement Award goes to Brooke Staten of the Blue Valley FFA Chapter and is sponsored by United Mosquito and Fly Control. Brooke has been riding and showing horses from a young age, but began focusing on building her herd and her skill set starting in 2016. She was selected to compete in the 2018 Mustangs Beginning Challenge and received an aggressive, unruly colt. Brooke's patience and perseverance with the colt led to the pair eventually taking reserve champion overall in the show. Last year, after severe flooding struck her area, Brooke had to implement an emergency relocation plan for all of the animals and learn intensive veterinary care techniques to care for an injured horse. Currently, she volunteers for both the Kansas Horse Council and the Equifest of Kansas event. Upon graduation, Brooke plans to attend Chadron State College and study rangeland management and equine industry management. Brooke is the daughter of Tony and Justine Staten, and her advisors are Anthony Mills and Megan Larson. Keep it up, Brooke.
Nathan Holtz of the Wamego FFA chapter is this year's winner of the Fiber and Oil Crop Production Proficiency Award. This award is sponsored by Kansas Soybean. Nathan began renting 1.6 acres of cropland from his parents in 2017. In recent years, Nathan applied for an FSA beginning farmer loan and purchased 97 acres. His current assets in both owned and leased ground totals over 107 acres, which he now plants completely to soybeans. In the beginning, Nathan performed general maintenance on machinery, but now he scouts crops, replaces parts, and rebuilds row units on his family's planter. The extreme wet season of 2019 taught Nathan how to manage difficult conditions and make treatment decisions to help prevent disease and weeds. Nathan will study agronomy at Cloud County Community College this fall and plans to eventually return to the family farm. His parents are Stephen and Teresa Holtz, and his advisor is Andy Morton. Congratulations, Nathan!
This year's Forage Production Award goes to Coy Wade Stamm of the Washington County FFA chapter, sponsored by the Kansas Forage and Grassland Council. Coy works for his family's operation to produce a variety of forage crops such as alfalfa, brome, prairie hay, wheat straw, Sudan, and oat bales used to feed livestock in the winter. He also helps chop 150 acres of silage each summer. Coy's responsibilities have grown, from running only the swather to now operating all the family's equipment, including both round and small square balers and a hydraulic rake. He also organizes labor for putting up square bales and manages their sale and delivery. In the future, Coy plans to attend college and eventually return to the family farm. Coy is the son of Curtis and Marlene Stamm, and his advisor is John Kern. Great work, Coy.
The recipient of the Goat Production Proficiency Award is Lucas Paul Falkenstein from the Labette County FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by the Kevin and Brenda Davis family. Luke began his SAE with 24 boar goat does, 6 of which were used as donor females to produce high-quality show animals. He is grateful for his relationships with and advice from professionals in the industry who have helped expand his network and make sound breeding decisions. When a seasonal E. coli outbreak caused several of his newborn kids to fall ill, he worked to develop a treatment plan and changed his vaccination protocol to help prevent further outbreaks. Luke has learned about veterinary care, genetic selection, flushing, and embryo transplant of his show stock, and has produced winners at numerous state fairs. He assists with showmanship workshops and also hosted a one-day clinic for local youth. Upon graduation, Luke plans to attend Texas Tech University to study animal science and business. Luke is the son of Rich and Melissa Falkenstein, and his advisors are Kyle Zwallen, Dustin Wiley, and Keith Guerin. Good work, Luke!
Garner Guy Grauerholz of the Beloit FFA chapter is this year's winner of the Grain Production Proficiency Award, sponsored by the Kansas Wheat Commission. For his SAE, Garner helps manage his family's operation, Grauerholz Farms, and is a part owner in a separate enterprise, G5 LLC. He makes planting and crop rotation decisions for 9,000 acres they plant each year to wheat, sorghum, soybean, and corn. Garner is also responsible for maintenance of machinery and training new hires. Recently, he has taken an interest in exploring no-till methods between different crop varieties and continuously monitors soil pH to prevent growth issues in the farm's soybean fields. Garner has also learned to read the markets in order to make more informed trade and equipment purchasing decisions. In the future, Garner plans to continue farming and eventually purchase additional acres to expand his operation. Garner's parents are Enos and Jill Grauerholz, and his advisor is Jake Rutledge. Keep it up, Garner.
Derek Larison from the Riverton FFA chapter is this year's winner of the Landscape Management Proficiency Award, sponsored by Lawrence Landscape. Derek's SAE consists of co-owning Larison Lawn Care with his brother. They have a total of 19 customers who receive lawn care services such as mowing, leaf removal, edging, and trimming. Derek's responsibilities include operations, equipment maintenance, pricing, and managing finances. Over time, Derek has expanded the operation by purchasing new equipment with profits earned from the business. He values the mechanical, communication, and business management skills he has gained from his SAE. Upon graduation, Derek plans to study kinesiology with the goal of becoming a director of strength and conditioning at the college level. His parents are Jacob and Tammy Larison, and his advisor is Jacob Larison. Congratulations, Derek.
The recipient of the Nursery Operations Award is Morgan Montgomery from the Kansas City FFA Chapter. Hummer International sponsors this proficiency award. Morgan started working for La Hacienda Greenhouse with an unpaid internship in her ag internship class. At first, she assisted with potting plants, removing weeds, and caring for sick plants. After her internship, Morgan was offered a part-time job where her responsibilities grew to watering, starting plug trays, and working with customers on plant selection. Her experience has allowed her to better identify plant pests and diseases, and she has learned through first-hand experience how to care for plants with a variety of issues. Morgan hopes to pursue a degree in horticulture to further her experience in the nursery industry. Her parents are Jeremy Montgomery and Jody Ramirez. Advisors are Josie Riley, Casey Bogart, and Jacob Sumter. Keep up the good work, Morgan.
Kansas FFA members and guests, please help me in joining Zachary Goins for a special introduction.
I've heard that leading an FFA chapter is a lot like herding cats, so it comes as no surprise to me that my sister Abby would take to it with such gusto. She's been that way her whole life. Herding cats for her is no issue. In fact, as a toddler, she had already progressed from that into bathing kittens. There was a time when I came around the corner of the house and I saw her with kittens in both her hands in death grips, and she was taking these hissing, snarling kittens and plunging them into a gallon bucket of water and soap, and they hissed and fought and finally clawed their way to freedom. And I knew then that when you see a toddler do such a thing, you know that nothing will escape their grasp as they get older. My brothers and I are proud to welcome our sister, cat hygienist, and your 2019-2020 Kansas FFA Vice President, Abby Goins. Well done, sis.
There I was, standing in the middle of our church lobby, hands shaking in anticipation. The cast list was posted, and under Cora May, I found my name. Cora May was a sweet Southern tomboy, and I was determined to play her role perfectly. I memorized the lines, got just the right outfit, and embodied her scripted movements. After our performance, everyone told me that I had played my part perfectly. I was perfect. Maybe that was when I began to believe that perfection came from playing a part. From then on, I started to play this perfect character I thought was expected of me. So focused on this concept of being perfect, I started to create a script I couldn't deviate from. The perfect daughter would just nod her head. The perfect friend wouldn't be upset about that. The perfect Christian would do this. It went on for so long that it didn't even feel like I was acting anymore. It's just me. How many of us have felt that same need to live up to expectations? During high school, that character I'd been embodying fell apart. I realized the part I was playing wasn't who I wanted to be anymore. On the outside, I worked to look perfect, but on the inside, I knew I was leading an insincere life. The scripted Abby didn't run for state office, but the real me wanted to take the risk. The scripted Abby hid her emotions. but the real Abby wanted to let others know what she was feeling. The scripted Abby gave the Sunday school answer, but the real Abby was struggling with her faith. Instead of making me feel accomplished, perfection left me feeling empty. The idea of not meeting expectations terrified me, but I knew I didn't have a choice anymore. I threw away the script I'd been following for years and started searching for a new role to play. Then, during my freshman year of college, I became friends with my pal Reed. Now, Reed was normally up for any adventure. Give chocolate to strangers on Valentine's Day? Amazing. Take a new workout class? Incredible. One night, I was feeling that call of adventure, so I asked Reed to go to Sonic with me. Her immediate answer was no. I was shocked. Who could turn down live chats and shakes? She explained that she decided to be in bed by 10 p.m. every day that semester. I was sure I could get her to compromise at least once, and I tried. Sonic, trips to the Kanza, movie nights, nothing worked. And that wrecked my world. Reed was unapologetic about who she was. She was so confident in who she was, where she was going, and what her priorities were that it showed in even the little things. She wasn't swayed by the expectations of others, even mine. Here I was, at a loss for how I was supposed to live. I started to wonder if maybe I didn't need to play a perfect role, but rather live authentically. It was then I realized that the expectations guiding my life weren't from other people. They were my own. I had assumed people had these expectations of me when that wasn't what they wanted at all. It's not uncommon for us to feel like our family, our friends, the world has expectations of us. But they don't need us to be perfect. They don't need us to play a part. All that's expected of us is that we are authentic in who we are. Authenticity is knowing who we are and showing it to the world. All of a sudden, it was clear I didn't need to find a new script, but simply live true to me. So I followed Reed's lead. I identified what was important to me. Instead of simply doing what was expected, I thought about if it lined up with my goals, my values, and those characteristics I wanted to uphold. My actions started to line up with the real me. For me, expectations was one of the most crucial roadblocks to overcome when finding my authenticity. We each have expectations in our life, and this year I learned that they come in many different forms. Sometimes other people have high expectations of us, sometimes low. Occasionally they look like judgments, others challenges. For some of us, those expectations are fabricated, just like the ones that ruled my life. What we have in common, however, is this choice to pursue authenticity. Maybe it looks like recognizing the imperfections in our stories, but telling those stories anyway. It could be being authentically vulnerable to a friend during a personal struggle, or maybe just staying true to what makes us unique, even if the way we look or act doesn't fit expectations. Imagine your life, living true to the real you. What does that authenticity look like? Now, let's find a sticky note or piece of paper and a pen. No, seriously. 5, 4, 3, 2. Do you have it? Because now it's time to pursue that authentic self we imagined. Remember that authenticity is knowing who we are and showing it to the world. What actions can you start taking today to become more authentic? Maybe it's telling a friend that you're struggling, setting goals that line up with your dreams, or journaling about past experiences. Once we have identified the way that we will become more authentic, let's capture it on our sticky note. After this session, we'll place that note on the mirror we see most often. When we see it, we'll be reminded to show our authentic self to the world. Authenticity is a complex concept. It's not a simple one and done choice we get to make. We must choose to pursue authenticity every single day. Throwing away our scripts can be an intimidating step. But when we identify what's holding us back and work to overcome it, we'll find that it's a much more fulfilling choice than simply living according to expectations. Our authenticity will be seen in the smallest actions, just like greed. It'll also allow us freedom and joy like we've never experienced before. Like me. Playing parts like Corme can be fun for a while. But Kansas FFA, true joy is found in living authentically.
Abby, your intentionality to your commitments and passion for making a positive impact on anyone you meet not only makes you stand out as a friend, but also as a teammate. By putting the needs of others before yourself, by always giving out big hugs, and for always lending out an ear whenever we need it, your compassion and selflessness is exhibited, and those are two values that we love about you. Abu, thank you for all of the road trip jams. Thank you for all of the corny jokes. And thank you for always making us feel at home, no matter where we are. Love, Logan, Elizabeth, Lucas, JW, and Mason. Kansas FFA, we proudly introduce your 2019-2020 State FFA Vice President, Abby Goins.
Mr. Holtzman and Dr. Wyrick, thank you for your continued investment into our agricultural education program. Since stepping into your roles, you have always supported the growth of our chapter. Whether it was to pray before leaving for National Convention or simply stopping to say hi, you have always let us know that you are in our corner. Your support of all organizations at Labette County have provided countless students with powerful and impactful experiences. So thank you. Kansas FFA, join me in recognizing Labette County High School Principal, Mr. Shane Holtzman, and USD 506 Superintendent, Dr. John Wyrick. Mr. Falkenstein, you believe in me even when I don't believe in myself. You always take time out of your day to help me become my best. Mr. Guerin, although I wasn't in your classroom, you have truly become an advisor to me in these past 2 years. On good and bad days, you always make me feel heard and capable. Mr. Wiley, your bubbly energy and constant enthusiasm can make anyone feel at home. You have pushed me and grew me in ways that I didn't know was possible. Mr. Zwollen, thank you for being that tough love I need. You never let me settle at good enough, but rather challenge me to become a better version of myself every single day. Together, you all made that building across the street a safe haven for me to run to. Win or lose, we did it together, and I will be forever grateful for my extra dads. Kansas FFA, join me in recognizing my advisors, Mr. Jeff Falkenstein, Mr. Keith Guerin, Mr. Dustin Wiley, and Mr. Kyle Zwollen. Mom and Dad, thank you for being a constant anchor to my values. No matter what my latest involvement is, you always remind me to focus on and invest in what's most important. Mom, you have taught me that love comes in many different packages, even cinnamon rolls. Thank you for always putting us kids first and making our home a safe place to return to. Dad, thank you for pushing me to take that first ag class. You always challenge me to take advantage of new opportunities. You lead us gently with wisdom and honesty. I can never thank you enough for the example that you set. I love you both so much. Kansas FFA, join me in recognizing my parents, Louis and Janelle Goins.
is one thing on my farm we are always looking to improve: the structural soundness of all the shelters for the animals. Better structures equal better foundations for years to come. This next individual has done just that with every person he encounters. Dr. Rick Rigsby is the president and CEO of Rick Rigsby's Communications and has dedicated many years of his life to teaching and inspiring young individuals as a college professor. Impacting over 3 million people, he is ensuring that future generations are holding true to traditions and ourselves. Without further ado, it is my privilege to introduce you to and to welcome Dr. Rick Rigsby.
Well, hello, friends. I am so honored to be speaking to the Kansas State FFA. I want to thank Ms. Kane and the state officers for this wonderful, wonderful opportunity. You know, this is a very unusual year, right? In fact, some would say this is a missed opportunity. I wouldn't say that. This is a great opportunity, and that's what I want to talk to you about. I really believe that this crisis represents a phenomenal graduate school experience in leadership. I really do. And what a great opportunity to take a few minutes and learn from a most unique time in history, and it's happening at a critical time in your lives. Let me explain what I'm talking about, friends. During times of certainty, you can't stretch, you can't grow. It takes uncertainty that generates the capacity to continue to grow, to continue to learn. It was that great UCLA basketball coach, John Wooden, who said, live today as though you're gonna die tomorrow. Learn today as though you're gonna live forever. In a time of uncertainty, you have to adapt. You have to adjust. You have to overcome. You have to learn to be flexible. You have to learn to stretch. You have to be willing to try different ideas, take new approaches. This is a great graduate school in leadership, friend. If you're graduating from middle school, if you're graduating from high school, if you're graduating from college, this is not a missed opportunity. This year, 2020, during a pandemic, is the greatest opportunity for all of you to grow, to stretch, to make excellence dominant, prominent, preeminent, zenith, number one, top drawer, top shelf, central core in your life, to develop resilience every single day. Friend, I want to tell you something. Resilience isn't something that you put on a hook, like you're putting a coat on a hook and taking it off the hook when you need it. Resilience is something that ought to be pursued every single day. That's what a crisis teaches. A crisis teaches you to be resilient, to grow, to stretch, to challenge yourself. And you're in a graduate school right now for leadership for the rest of your life. Don't miss your moment. Don't miss this opportunity. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, an opportunity missed is an opportunity lost. Don't miss this moment to be the best leader, the best citizen that you can possibly be. That is the essence that makes the tradition of the FFA so profound. Now, friends, I want to tell you something. One of the things that we can learn, all of us can learn during a time of crisis, is that a crisis does not make a leader, a crisis reveals a leader, right? A crisis shows you the need for leadership. And so I want you to listen to me, because I know some of you are thinking right now, I'm just a middle schooler, I'm not a leader. Yes, you are. A leader is anyone that exerts influence. What did you say, John Maxwell? Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Your ability to influence people within the sphere of your periphery determines the impact that you make. If you're influencing anybody, you're a leader. But remember, you're not just in this graduate school of uncertainty for now. This is a graduate school education that is going to serve you as you serve others for the rest of your lives. So leaders show up in a crisis, and they show up in a very profound way. As a matter of fact, they show up in 3 ways. Number 1, a leader acts with perspective. Number 2, a leader speaks with clarity. And number 3, a leader models hope. And it's in this environment of a crisis that we're learning these things. We're learning these lessons for a lifetime. What do I mean when I say that a leader acts with perspective. You think about it. If all we're doing is watching the news, reading the paper, listening to information from various sources, listening to various streams, it's easy to lose perspective. And if you think about it, most people lose perspective in a crisis. But we cannot, as leaders, we can be in the crowd, but we can't be of the crowd. Perspective requires us to have a balanced approach. Here's the bottom line, friend. The earth isn't ending. The sky isn't crumbling. There's still air in my lungs. I had a friend that's an airline pilot, and he told me that in a time of crisis, pilots are trained to ask one question: are we still flying? Well, I want to ask you this: are you still breathing? And if you're still breathing, use that still breathing to maintain the proper perspective. So what a leader has to do is a leader has to show up and speak with clarity the reality of the situation, but also remind with salience that this is not the end of the world. I'm 64 years old. I've never seen anything like this. That doesn't mean something like this hasn't happened in the past. We had the Spanish flu back in 1918 to 1920. We've had wars. We've had other epidemics and pandemics. We've had other major disasters. What it means is this is a devastating time, but we're still living. We're still breathing. That leader must act with perspective. Secondly, you must speak with clarity. Why is that important? I want you to think about the role of parents for a moment. Anytime parents speak with clarity, you clearly know the expectations. You know what's expected of you. Also, you know what the priorities are, right? And even though you're not always in agreement with the expectations, even though you're not always in agreement with the priorities, guess what? Understanding the expectations and knowing the priorities gives you a sense of security. Whenever you have a leader, listen to me, young folks, whenever you have a leader that does not speak with clarity, confusion exists. And there is nothing that devastates an organization, a family, a group, or a team like confusion. So that leader has to show up and act with perspective and speak with clarity. The third, maybe the most profound, that leader must model hope. You know, I wrote a book a few years ago titled Afraid to Hope. And from time to time, I'd have a couple of business leaders say to me, Rick, we love your book, but hope is not a strategy. And it stung. I took it personally. Guess what, y'all? It took a pandemic for me to realize they're right. Guess what? They're right. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is more powerful than a strategy. A strategy is a plan. A plan can change at the drop of a hat. Hope is a belief. Oh, baby. Listen, I don't want to get on an airplane if the pilot has no hope. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I don't want to be in an FFA chapter if the president doesn't have any hope. Come on, somebody. I don't want to be in a home if there's no hope. I don't want to be on a team if the leaders have no hope. And so I don't want you to look at hope in the conventional sense, because frankly, I think we've neutered the power out of hope with our casual language. You know, we say things like, I hope it doesn't rain, or I hope I get a parking spot. And in doing so, nothing wrong with those things, but we have psychologically reduced hope to the basement of human emotion. But you know what? Hope is active. Hope is dynamic. Hope is transformative. What did you say, Helen Keller? Hope sees the invisible. Hope feels the intangible. Hope believes the impossible. That doesn't sound like wish fulfillment to me. Hope is not wish fulfillment. Here's my definition of hope: a quality within every human being that places a transformative demand upon the heart to believe for the absolute best outcome. In order for you to model hope, you have to have courage. It was Winston Churchill who said, "Fear is a reaction. Courage is a choice." Leader, it is incumbent upon you. It is incumbent upon me every single day to have the courage to hope, to believe for the best outcome, to think that way. Second, you have to understand this. It is critical, if you want to model hope, that you have faith. You know, in the Holy Scriptures, the Bible says that faith is the substance of things hoped for. The presupposition, you can't have faith unless you first have hope. And so you have to have faith that things are going to get better. You know what optimism says? Optimism is good, but optimism says, I have a feeling that things may turn out. But hope is not a feeling. Hope is a belief. And you have to have faith in the belief that things are going to get better, and then you have to model it, friend. I said, then you have to model it, right? So hope requires courage. It requires faith. I love Les Brown. And Les Brown said something once that just really touched my heart with regard to faith. He said, faith is the oil that takes the friction out of life. Oh, come on, somebody. Isn't that good? Isn't that good? You have to have faith. Without faith, there's going to be a whole lot of friction in life. But not only do you need courage and faith to have hope, but the third may be the most important. Hope requires an immediate, decisive response. Yes, it does. What am I saying? Hope places a demand upon you to make a decision right now, whether you're going to give up, bail out, leave, stop, or keep growing, keep stretching, keep pushing, keep clawing. You know, I have to be very honest with you. I learned that during the worst days of my life. It doesn't get much worse than walking up to the casket of my first wife, holding the hands of two little boys. I told my father I had no hope. He said, son, you still have hope. You haven't lost hope, son. You've lost perspective. And then he said these three words, son, just stand. What are you saying to us, Dr. Rigsby? In those three words, son, just stand. My father placed a demand upon me. He placed a demand for an immediate, decisive response. I had to make a choice. Do I quit or do I keep going? Friend, I want to tell you something. You're in the best graduate school for leadership that you could ever be in, because you are realizing that it's in a time of uncertainty that your leadership develops. You're in a graduate school where you're realizing that uncertainty demands that a leader shows up and acts with perspective and speaks with clarity and models hope. And so to all those folks, and I especially want to talk to those of you graduating, to all those folks who have said, I'm so sorry you're missing your opportunity, I would respond by saying, I am so grateful that you are experiencing the greatest opportunity at the most important time of your life to get a lifelong lesson called leadership that makes an impact. You'll never be the same because of this pandemic. You will be better. So I want you to go for it all your lives. And in the words of a quote that I love dearly, live your life in such a way that it becomes easy to write your letter of recommendation, but impossible to write your eulogy. Kansas State FFA, I love y'all and can't wait to see you in person in the very near future.
Make sure you join us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to hear special remarks from Walter Kinsey from Encore Live and to celebrate the outstanding work of our state FFA degree recipients. Also, do not forget to tune in tomorrow night for the final session of the 92nd Kansas FFA Convention at 7 p.m. I will now call upon Logan Elliott to resume the duties of the chair.
Madam Secretary, do you have record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I have none, Mr. President.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this session? We are about to adjourn this virtual session of the 92nd Kansas FFA Convention. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, Join me in a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now declare this session adjourned.